So this is a video for you if you don't actually know what you want to create, which is actually surprisingly common. We frequently see this with people who come to see us, and it's typical that people know what they don't want. But when you ask them what they do want, they typically draw a blank. And I want to share a bit about why that happens and what you can do about it. So from what I see, our thinking and our insight follows our feeling and the level of self that we're walking around living in on a day-to-day basis. So when a client comes to see us, they're still typically in a place where they're running their old programming. And so if you ask them what they want from that place, they typically don't know, or they only know things in relation to what they don't like and to the degree to which they feel whole in themselves. So what we typically do with people is first help them to begin to get connected to what's the feeling state that they actually want to access in a new reality. And it's typically something like gratitude, wholeness, love, joy, bliss, happiness. And most of the time people think those are states that live outside of them, but actually they're internally generated. So what we do is we take people through a process to not only identify the state that they want to live in, but also to go into a meditative state where they can start to actually experience that state completely independently of what is going on in their life. And what happens is the more somebody starts to access that state, the more they're actually reclaiming their sense of wholeness, the more they're actually starting to see, oh, actually, this is all inside of me. But not only that, because they've now started to access feeling states that are different to the ones that they're living in on a day-to-day basis, they start having different thinking. They start having different insight about what it is they might want to create. And the thing about those things is there's actually usually a lot more power behind those desires at that point because they're coming not from fear, not from contraction, not from a sense that the world has to do something for them to feel better, but actually coming from a place of wholeness. And what that does is it starts to create coherence between our heart and our brain. And we actually start to become much more powerful living from that place. It's kind of on a simple level like this. If you lose your keys in your house, right, and then you get all annoyed about losing your keys, you're now in an identity of being someone that's lost your keys. And typically you're not going to find them. But if you go out and live your life, right, and then you come back into your home, you're now in a different feeling state, most likely. And that identity of being someone that's lost your keys now has less of a hold on you. As a result, you now start to see things differently. You now start to be able to connect to the environment in a way that you were not capable of. And it's because you're now in a different feeling state. Often, I've had this experience myself. You'll go and look for your keys and you'll find them actually in a place where you've already looked, but you couldn't find them previously, right? So if you're sitting there and you're going, I don't know what I actually want to create. Well, first step is ask yourself, if you were living a different reality, what is the feeling state that you would be living in? And what can you start to do right now to start creating that feeling state within you? Because the more you do that, the more you're going to start tapping into different thinking, different insight, and different nudges from the higher part of you, which will start to give you a sense of what you can create from this deeper part of yourself. So I hope that's helpful, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Lots of love.